Hey everybody, how's it going? Jabik here with a different video to what I usually do. Lately, I've been playing and enjoying The Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall. It's a game that I've wanted to beat for years now because I'm a massive fan of the Elder Scrolls series. But every time I've tried getting into it, I've just sort of bounced off it. Same thing happened to me with Morrowind for years. But you know what? Just like Morrowind, you gotta keep trying until it clicks and you understand the mechanics well enough that you're not constantly confused. What surprised me on this attempt to get into the game is how deceptively simple the gameplay is. It seems complicated, but in reality, it's not that hard. So I've decided to put together a video that shows you what playing Daggerfall is actually like. Knowing what I'm doing while explaining what I'm doing along the way. My goal with this video is to show you what you need to enjoy the game and to explain it in simple terms. In the first part of the video, I'm going to show you what playing the game is like on a level 7 or 8 warrior character I've been going through the game with, so you know what the game is like at a sort of mid-game, intermediate level, and then in the second portion of the video, I'll show you the process of starting a new spellcasting character and struggling through the game at a low level. There's no need for theatrics, let's just go. And a quick disclaimer here, you know, this video does not have any bells or whistles. The editing is very simple. It's not super in-depth. It's just practical. Okay, so if you're willing to have the patience to sit down and play this game with me and listen to me talk about it while I play, then this video is for you. If you're looking for something more in-depth or with more fancy editing or something like that, I'm sure there are plenty of guides that will help you with that are exactly what you're looking for. This is meant to be a simple video for people who are looking for simple explanations and to simply understand what playing the game is actually like in practical terms. Okay, let's start. First off, I'm going to show you the settings and mods I have activated. Swap health and fatigue, so that just makes red health and green fatigue, which just makes more sense. For a Skyrim player, Skyrim baby like me, advanced settings, you can either start in dungeon or start like outside of the dungeon, which makes the beginning a little easier. Smaller dungeons, I would definitely activate that unless you love giant, massive, gargantuan labyrinths you need to navigate. Other than that, just according to your preference here, interface, pretty much everything's fine here. I might have a few things activated. Modern style talk window, that might just change the font. Rest of this stuff, I don't even know. It doesn't matter. I don't even know what this is that I'm moving right now. Just keep it on classic. But Daggerfall Unity comes with quality of life features like this. Game console. Same commands pretty much as Skyrim that you would use. Maximum loiter time, that's one thing I changed. Changed it to 12. It's just a little easier. Definitely, main filter, GUI filter, video filter, change it to point. Otherwise, all the graphics are going to be extremely blurry. Field of view 90, that's nice. And the rest of this stuff just doesn't matter. Now, the mods I have activated, you can just look these up on Nexus Mods. Basic Magicka regen. Convenient clock, so you know what time it is without pressing F6. Convenient quest log, distant terrain, sneak and crouch combined. That's all I have, so it's pretty close to vanilla. The biggest change is probably the Magicka regen, which is just a little quality of life feature. Alright, so here we are. I believe I'm in the city of Daggerfall right now. And I have a pretty unique quest to go to a graveyard and kill a bunch of undead creatures until a necromancer shows up. So I'm here at the graveyard. Just look up where you want to go on the game map, pressing V. And, yeah, now I'm just here looking around for zombies and skeletons. I believe eventually they're just going to start showing up. They're just going to spawn. So I'm going to loiter a while. Oh, enemies nearby, right? So, ready your weapon and just start swinging. This is what combat is like in Daggerfall. It's pretty simple. So enemies will just basically spawn right behind you, intermittently. And a great many quests will just require you to wait until enemies stop spawning, essentially. You'll notice a second ago I just used a healing spell. You cast spells by pressing backspace. Then click on the spell you want. Yep. Then get out of the menu. Okay, this is different than a spell. Now I'm using magic items, which you use by pressing U. Now magic items, when you use them, it does not require you to have spell points, mana. So actually magic items are far more useful in this game than spells. And you'll get them as rewards for quests, or you'll find them in dungeons, or you can buy them from a mage's guild. But you can use them basically as many times as you want. I've not had to recharge them like in Morrowind or other Elder Scrolls games. You can basically spam them. So resting or loitering is a good way to get enemies to spawn, and for this quest, I just need to kill as many as show up until the Necromancer comes, and then I kill them. Yep, the Necromancer is here. And I died, so just reload your quick save. Quick save all the time in this game. Absolutely all the time. Necromancer's over there, just looks like a common thief-type enemy. I'm going to use a magic item here. My healing cloak, which is very nice to have. There we go. And the quest is basically done. This is a Fighters Guild quest. So after I kill these zombies, I'm going to press V. After I loot these things, yep, just going to press V. I'm in Daggerfall. Going to go to the city of Daggerfall. That's where I was. That's where I got the quest. Quests will usually remain local in the sort of province you are in. If you arrive at nighttime, the gates are going to be closed. So what I like to do, I just climb over the walls, which is really easy. You just look at a wall, just keep pressing W on it. You'll enter climbing mode. I'm at an inn, just went to the closest inn I found. Gonna rest until the Fighters Guild is open so I can go and return that quest, or turn it in, get paid for it. Save your game all the time. Don't just quick save. Make some official saves so you can go back to it in case you need to. You press T to get on your horse. Horses are pretty cheap in this game. You can buy them in any general store. And it's just a good thing to have. It's fast. It's fun. Fighters Guilds. You can recognize them. All guilds sort of have a common type of building they are on the outside, so you can recognize them. Fighters Guild is easy because it's just a big square block tower. Alright, so I go to the quest list here, which is a setting you can activate in the Daggerfall Unity settings. I pick this one to showcase a quest where you need to go around and talk to people to find a residence, the Coppersley residence. So, I go outside, quick save, and just go up to random people and ask them, yep, general Coppersley residence. So you click blunt for normal people, that levels up streetwise. You click polite for sort of higher class people, that levels up etiquette. And whether or not they tell you where to go is it's random. So you just gotta ask a whole bunch of people. and they'll give you a direction, or they'll mark it on your map, which is very nice when they do that, because you know exactly where to go. But I just got told, okay, it's south, so just start heading south, and you sort of need to triangulate the location of which random house you're supposed to go to. So just along your way, you keep asking people, Coppersley residents, this guy doesn't want to talk to me, so now I'm just looking for people. Hello, yes, General Tab, Coppersley residents, northeast, okay, so just start vaguely going in the northeast direction. This process can take a while, but, you know, this is something you're going to need to do quite often. It's just go around, ask people. Eventually, you're going to figure out where it is. Southeast, okay. Alright, so it's in this area. I've passed it somewhere, so I think, okay, it's probably there. Or that's where I'm going to start looking. Welcome. Is this the place where I'm supposed to be? I don't know. So I go around looking for the person who's in this house. Okay, this is not the right guy. He doesn't even want to talk to me, so go outside, start asking people again. Or start entering random houses. I know it's around here. It's somewhere around here. I could keep asking people until they mark it on my map, but I know it's so close by that I don't really need to do that. This guy says northeast, okay. So I'm thinking, okay, it's probably that house right there. Let's see if I'm correct. Oh, yep. The rats are in this house. This is a simple quest. You'll get this one at low levels. Okay. You basically just have to wait until the rats are finished spawning. And a message pops up saying, yep, there's no more rats. Then you go back to the Fighters Guild and turn it in. So, this is your bread and butter Fighters Guild quest. Yep, there we go. No more rats. Basically just go back to the Fighters Guild and you turn it in and you get paid. Get paid cash money. Now, how much you get paid depends on your rank within the Fighters Guild, which is not dependent on how many quests you do for the Fighters Guild. It's dependent on your skills. So as you level up your fighting skills, you will rank up within the Fighters Guild, you'll gain access to more quests, and you'll get paid more for each quest you do for them. There's 1,000 gold for me. I'm currently carrying 15... Was that 15,000 gold? So that's quite a lot. So, right now I'm going towards a smithing shop, indicated by a helmet icon on the sign out front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sell this loot I got from that graveyard quest. It's quite a bit of money. I'm now carrying 20,000 gold. What's going through my mind at the moment is I'm going to repair my stuff really quick. Going to repair that. There's a setting you can activate that makes it not take several days for the guy to repair your equipment, which is very nice. But you can keep that default. You'll just have to go back to the place after a few days and get your stuff. But right now, I'm going to go to Sentinel, which is one of the 3 sort of major cities in the game. And I'm going to deposit some money in the bank. Because this is where I have my money, in the Bank of Sentinel. And I'm going to deposit it because gold is very it's very heavy in this game, which is realistic, but it's also definitely a pain. But it is kind of cool for role-playing purposes to have to go deposit your gold in a bank. So 20,000 gold is weighing me down quite a lot. I can't carry that much equipment from dungeons or whatever, so I'm just going to go deposit it. And here's the sort of craftsman street in Sentinel, which has a bunch of stores. Here's the bank. It's got a money bag on the sign. Banking, deposit. $16,000. I don't need more than 1,000 gold in my inventory at any given time. Unless I'm going to buy something major or repair my equipment, which can be pretty costly. While I'm here, buy all these shops. I'm going to sell one of my magic items, because it's got a duplicate sort of spell attached to it. So I don't need it, so I'm going to sell it. 1,500 gold, that's pretty good. You'll get about a third of what your gear is actually worth at any given shop, which will slowly increase as you level up Mercantile, which you do by just selling and buying things. So right now I'm going to go to Wayrest. I'm going to do another Fighters Guild quest to show off more of the game. Here we are. So there are 3 major sort of cities in this game. Wayrest, Sentinel, and Daggerfall. And they are in the provinces of the same name. So these big cities, they're going to be massive. They're going to have a lot of different shops and taverns and such. That's where you're going to find fighters guilds or mages guilds. Here I go, doing some sick tricks on my horse here. It's a mages guild. You can recognize it by the way it is. On the outside, you'll learn that over time. Sort of what building is which. Takes a while, but there we go. See that big tower off in the distance? That's the Fighters Guild. It's 4:40 in the afternoon right now, so Fighters Guild is still open. Different services will open and close at different times. It's kind of a pain to figure out, but just the middle of the day is the best to do what you want to do. This next quest I'm going to do is pretty complicated, and it takes me a while to figure out and to complete. But all I need to know for now is the Wickhart residence. That's what I'm looking for. So, same deal. Just go out and start talking to people. General, Wickhart residence. That guy has a life to lead. Okay. General, Wickhart residence. Southeast. Alright. So off I go, southeast direction, asking more people along the way to see if they will be kind enough to mark it on my map. Which again is just random. You just gotta ask a ton of people, and eventually somebody's gonna either tell you a direction or mark it on your map. There we go. It's on my map. It's over there. And of course, don't be afraid to check your map constantly to sort of reorient yourself. This big house here, that's the Wickhart residence. Here we go. And, uh-oh. What's this? Oh, I got a note. What does it say? Oh, click use. Use it. This is what happens to people who don't listen to my warnings. Barbona Greensmith. Okay, so I have my next clue for this quest here. I check around the house to make sure there's nothing else here or anybody I can talk to. But what's happened is our client for this quest has been murdered. But we have a name, Barbona Greensmith. So, we go out. Oh, there's an assassin. Yep, this is part of the quest. I'm getting hurt here, so I'm going to use my healing cloak. I feel somewhat bad. You see that message? I feel somewhat bad. So something has poisoned me, or given me a disease. I press F6, I've been poisoned. Okay, so I have an item that cures poison. I don't have a potion that cures poison. But thankfully, I do have a magic item, and I just click on it, and my poison is gone. And that's actually really lucky that I had that for this quest, because if I didn't, I'd be a little screwed. This game can be a little unfair sometimes. Sometimes you just get a horrible disease or poison that just completely takes you out, and you gotta reload a save a while back to try and not get that ailment. Unless you have an item, like I did, which is very nice. So save often is the name of the game here. Alright, so tell me about Barbona Greensmith. Okay, that guy didn't want to talk to me. Tell me about Barbona Greensmith. Okay, she lives in Longham Garden. So it's going to be in the province of Wayrus, because that's where we got the quest. Longham Garden. There it is. Gonna travel there. Press M to bring up local map. Press V to bring up world map. It's 1 in the afternoon, so people are going to be out and about. So I just go and start asking about Barbona Greensmith. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit, because I know for a fact this takes me a while to find somebody who's going to actually give me something concrete about where to find Barbona Greensmith. It's just a random chance, and sometimes it takes forever. But it's something you're going to have to do quite often in this game when you're questing. So I go around the whole town, and eventually I find a little boy in a tavern that will tell me where she's at. Alright, here's this kid. He doesn't know. Sorry, it's this old man who tells me, actually. Barbona Greensmith. She's in the Dark Brotherhood. She's in the Buckinghart residence. Okay, so I have another thing to ask people about. Where is the Buckinghart residence? She does not know. This guy wants to give me a quest. You can do it. It pays pretty well. 700 gold is not bad. But I am in the middle of something else, so I'm not going to talk to him about that. Where is the Buckinghart residence? Southeast. Okay. I have a direction. Southeast. And here she just marks it on my map. Makes it easy for me. That's great. So I go into the Buckinghart residence. This guy who's in here, he just lives here. He has nothing to do with the quest. He just lives here. So there's somebody in this house who has something to do with the quest. You gotta find him, or hidden in a closet somewhere. There she is. Okay. Alright, she's a dastardly villain. So, now a whole bunch of Dark Brotherhood assassins gonna show up, try and kill me. And I basically just have to kill them as long as they keep spawning. There's an icon, that's worth a lot. Gonna pick that up. Oftentimes, gold is better to pick up than items, which sounds obvious, but gold is going to start taking up a lot of space in your inventory, and oftentimes it's better to just leave the items behind, especially if enemies are dropping hundreds of gold apiece. And very rarely on regular enemies you'll find a piece of armor or a weapon that's better than you have. This guy poisoned me again. Gonna use my item that cures poison. If I didn't have that, I would have been in real trouble. Trying to rest or loiter is a good way to sort of gauge if enemies are still going to keep spawning or not. Otherwise, I just sort of have to keep looking around the house in circles. Here's another one. Trying to level up my restoration there by casting a spell. Loiter for a while. Okay. So since I was able to successfully loiter, that means there's no more enemies. So I look at my quest log. See if there's any hints there for what I'm supposed to do next. So at this point in the quest, I'm like, I don't really know what to do. I killed all these assassins. Nothing sort of updated me. And you'll see pretty quickly here, I do get stuck doing this quest. I don't know what to do. Which is, of course, a problem you're going to run into pretty often in this game. But that's okay. There are things you can do to sort of diagnose what you're supposed to do next. And there are resources online that will help you know what to do next. So I save here. Am I done? Because I think, okay, am I done? Like, do I just go back to the Fighters Guild and am I finished with the quest? I just need to turn it in. So I go back to Wayrest. And I saved before I left that town, so I can just quickly reload if I need to. Fighters Guild opens at 11 a.m., so I got here at a good time. Okay, here I am. Okay. So clearly, based off what that guy just said, we're not done with the quest. I reload my save, we're back in this house, and I don't know what to do next. This is sort of a complicated quest, more so than average, so what I'm going to go do is just rent a room and start resting to see if I get a letter or if an enemy spawns and gives me some kind of message. But nothing happens. Very often you'll get letters. Enemy nearby. Okay, so I think this is it. This is definitely it. I gotta kill this enemy and she'll have something on her that finishes the quest. Or when I attack her, she'll give me a message. Nothing happens. So, okay. That enemy was completely unrelated to the quest I'm doing right now. So once again, I'm confused. Now I'm just waiting for a letter to come by or an enemy to show up that gives me some kind of message. Nothing happens. If you play this game, this is going to happen to you. You're going to be confused. You're going to run around not knowing what to do. So this is a realistic sort of depiction of what playing Daggerfall is like. And sort of the process that's involved in figuring out what you're supposed to do. So finally, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to look it up. The quest is called Standard Protection. First result there. Look at the quick walkthrough. I'm supposed to wait until I receive a letter from the client's daughter. Okay. So you're just supposed to wait an indeterminate amount of time. Somebody will deliver a letter to you, and then that'll tell you what to do next. Don't be ashamed to look stuff up. Like, I had no idea if the quest was broken or what. You know, but apparently, unbeknownst to me, you're just supposed to wait. So I go to Sentinel. 36 days is quite a while. I'm thinking, okay, Sentinel is far away. Surely by the time I get there, something is going to happen. It's nighttime when I get there, so I start climbing the walls. As you can see, I fail quite a bit here. But, I mean, I'm just showing you right now the process of getting into a city when it's nighttime. I could just loiter and wait outdoors until the gates open, but, you know, why do that when I can just climb over the wall? Almost made it. Oh, nope. As you can see, it takes a while. But if you just keep doing it, eventually, if you believe in yourself, you can climb over this city wall. Honestly, I probably should have just waited at this point, because I failed like 4 times. But it's okay. There we go. Finally. Yep. Gonna heal myself there, level my restoration. At this point, the goal of my quest is to kill time until that letter decides to show up, basically. I'm just gonna trot along over to this tavern that's nearby and wait till morning. Only need it for 1 day. 4 gold is a great price. Rest for a while. You can rest by pressing R. Climbing skill improved, see? Use it to level it. I love that system. It's one of the reasons Elder Scrolls is just such a great RPG series. While I'm here, I'm just going to put more money in the bank. Currently, I'm saving up for a ship, which costs a lot of money. Houses, they cost more like $1 million, or in the hundreds of thousands at least. So there are things certainly to save up for. I want to sell off this icon here, so I'm thinking, okay, where can I sell an icon? Because different types of shops will only accept certain types of items for you to sell off. So a pawn shop would definitely take it, but there's no pawn shop in Sentinel. So I'm thinking, okay, clothing shop, would you take it? No. Jewelry shop? Any chance you'll take it? Nope. But I can sell this jewel here. This magic jewel. I don't really need to lock any doors here. That's what that magic item does. So I sell it for 1,000. General store. Just checking if they'll take it. They will not. So just selling these arrows. When you get hit by arrows in this game, they appear in your inventory, which is just kind of funny, but yeah, there's no type of shop in the city that'll take this icon that I want to sell off. So, okay, just killing more time waiting for this stinking letter to show up. It's been a while now. Most quests don't take this much effort to complete, but oh. Randomly, completely randomly, out of the blue, courier shows up. Here's this letter. Read it. And this person wants to meet me in the Garing residence in Warway. Okay. So since the quest is from Wayrest, it's going to be in the province of Wayrest. Warway, there it is. I want to get there a little bit quicker. There is no time limit on this quest, which is nice. Some quests will be pretty strict on their time limit, while others just give you either an infinite amount of time or a very generous amount of time. Overall, you don't have to be that scared about time limits with quests. Like, overall, you're just going to be fine so long as you're focusing on what you need to be doing. I don't know, just pick a quest to focus on and just focus on it. Northeast, okay. So I have a direction for the morning, otherwise I'm going to rent a room for the night. Press R, rest for a while. Okay, now I'm on the hunt for the Gehring residence. Northeast. Southeast. So I'm close here, which makes sense, because it's a pretty small town. Alright, so I picked the wrong house there, but it's somewhere around here. Just checking to make sure there's no NPC related to the quest. Nope. This is definitely the wrong house. Could be this one. Yes, okay. She looks pretty important. It's a trap. I'm getting ambushed here. Make sure to quick save. More assassins. Yep. And you can see in the top left there, this NPC is now sort of in me. She's in me. She's a part of me. I have absorbed her essence into me, which basically just means she's following me. So using my magic items here, as you can see, you can just spam them. They never run out of charge, as far as I know. Way better than spells, because I can barely cast one spell with the number of spell points this character has. There's no update. Doesn't tell me what to do, so I loiter for a while. There's enemies nearby, so... Oh. I feel somewhat bad. So I've definitely been poisoned again. Cure that poison. More assassins in this house. That guy standing back there, he has nothing to do with anything. He does not freaking care. And so now it's up to me to assess, are there going to be more enemies? Yes, there are. Okay. So, kill them. Check the closets, you know. Basically, they'll just teleport behind you. I successfully loitered for an hour, so there's no more NPCs, no more enemies, rather. And once again, this quest doesn't really tell you what to do next, but I leave, get a message. She wants me to take her to the Gare House residence in a different city. Not to be confused with the Gare whatever residence we were just at. So, Fontcastle Court. Fontcastle Court. Gonna be looking for the Gare House residence. Just loitering for 12 hours. That's a setting you can edit in the Daggerfall Unity settings how long you're legally allowed to loiter. I have it set to 12 hours, which is the maximum. Get on my horse here, looking around for people to ask once again. There we go. Second person I ask, she marks it on my map. It's right over there. Even if I had to brute force it and check every house in this gosh dang little town here, it wouldn't be that bad. I don't know. It's just something you have to do. Okay. She gave me a frigging long shirt. Thank you. But it's a magic item. So that's pretty exciting because you don't know what it's going to do. You have to get it identified. So I go back to Wayrest where I know there's a Mages Guild. That's where I'm going to identify this long shirt I've just been given. Climbing over the wall once again. Oh, what fun. Scampering over this rock face. Gravity can't hold me back forever. Once again, just pressing W, looking at the wall. You'll eventually activate climbing mode. And, yeah, you'll scamper over these walls. That healing spell I've been using sucks, but I'm trying to level my restoration skill, so just gotta keep at it. Something about this game I love is just the general atmosphere, especially when it's nighttime. It just activates the I don't know, a tingling in my brain. It's like, wow, this is very charming. So I don't have any graphics mods installed, except for distant terrain. And honestly, I think that's for the best. I love the way this game looks. But there is a very active and extensive modding community? Yeah. There's a very extensive modding community for this game on Nexus Mods. So definitely give that a look before and during your playthrough to see if there's anything you like. I don't know. You can make the graphics better. You definitely can. But if you're like me, then you love these old pixelated graphics. They're just very charming to you, and so you don't even want to do that, and that's totally fine. Daggerfall Unity is amazing. With or without mods. I just have a few little quality of life mods installed and a few settings activated to make things a little less tedious. So there we go. I got my long shirt of lightning identified. So when I use that, it'll just cast the spell Lightning, which is very nice. Although I do already have a long shirt of lightning, so I will sell that later on, but certainly not a bad reward for a quest. Even though this quest was tedious as heck and took me quite a while. Took me probably over half an hour to do this, but it was kind of a fun quest. It had a little story about the Dark Brotherhood. It was kind of cool, wasn't it? Like, yeah. Back to the Fighters Guild. I already got my reward, so he's not going to give me anything. Quest is complete. So I go onto the quest list here. That's a setting you activate. Daggerfall Unity settings is giving you a list instead of just a random quest out of the available quests. Okay, so I click the giant killing quest. It's one that I've already done before, but I'm going to do it again just because I know it'll be good to show you a dungeon and the process of completing an objective in a dungeon. Daggerfall's Guard. There we go. Nice and easy. You'll spawn a little ways from the dungeon entrance. Sometimes you gotta look around a little bit. Gonna heal up before I go inside. Save the game. It's a good habit to get into. Just save the game all the time. Quick saves and regular saves. So you can load back if something goes wrong. Now the dungeons in this game are Oh, wow. Wow, did you see that? I just freaking Sparta-kicked that thief into a giant pit. That was kind of cool. Magically held lock. Can't lockpick that. There's probably a lever somewhere or something. Okay, here's the giant I was looking for. Message pops up. Gonna kill him. He has summoned more giants around him. Early on, this quest is a pain in the butt, because these giants can be really tough, but for a level 8 character with like good gear like I have, it's nothing. They die in like one hit. So, early game is definitely brutal, but once you get past it, the game is basically just fantasy Doom. Like, I just run around this level, killing enemies, picking up massive piles of gold, and that's basically it. Dungeons in this game, they can be brutally confusing. They're a labyrinth, straight up. So this one was really easy. I found the giant I was looking for straight off. Only had to make a few turns, and there he was. Sometimes you'll be in a dungeon for like an hour, just looking for ways to go that you haven't been before. Just running around in circles, trying to figure out where to go. It can be brutal and tedious. And it's okay if it is. You're not doing it wrong, you're just playing the game, right? This is how the game is. These dungeons... I have small dungeons activated, smaller dungeons in the Daggerfall Unity settings. I would definitely activate that, otherwise these dungeons are even more brutally massive. So I'd say definitely activate that setting. Unless you want to spend hours in a single dungeon, rather than like an hour if you can't find where you're supposed to go. Make sure, before you go in a dungeon, you know exactly what you're looking for. In this case, it was a giant. Other times, it'll be a random item, which will be marked green if it's the item you're looking for, or maybe a message will pop up. Quest items aren't that hard to miss, but definitely you can miss them. So just make sure you're paying attention. I go back to the entrance of this dungeon to drop off stuff into my wagon. There we go. See, my wagon can carry 750 units of weight. Just drop all my stuff into there so I can sell it later. Wagons, get one as soon as you can. That'll just massively change the amount of gear you're able to haul from a dungeon to a city. You just go to the entrance, press I, click on wagon, and unload all your gear into it. 750 pounds is more than enough for most dungeons, I'd say. The biggest limiting factor being how far away you get from the entrance. So the entrance here is so close, I just go around and I pick up all the stuff off of enemies that I left behind, and I just run back to the entrance and drop off the gear. But other times, the dungeon will be so big and you're so far away from the exit that it's not even worth it to, like, run back. But once again, the entrance/exit is so close, just pick up all the gear left on that guy. Here's another giant that the first giant summoned, and yeah, just drop it off into my wagon. It's just kind of simple fun. Running around a dungeon, picking up loot and gold. It's not much more complicated than that. The hardest part of this game is definitely the early portion, when you haven't leveled up much. Which, once again, I'm going to show you sort of that process a little bit later. But once again, I've already got what I came here for, killed the giant, so at this point I'm just exploring the dungeon. Just for fun. Just so I can get some more gold, to make it more worth my time. Okay, this is the process of lockpicking. I press F1 to enter lockpicking mode. And I quick save and quick load until the lock opens. That's pretty much it. That's how you level up lockpicking in this game. You can also bash the door down, which might just be easier, quite frankly. Unless it's a magically sealed lock, in which case you can't. But yeah, you just brute force locked doors. There could be good stuff behind the door. There might be nothing at all. It's random. This is a very Starfield-esque game. If you've played Starfield, you kind of get it. You fast travel where you want to go, because the world is so unbelievably large that traversing it any other way than fast travel, you're not going to be able to do it. It's actually impossible. So you just fast travel whenever you need to go to a different place, and yeah. It's good fun, though. It's good, classic RPG fun. There are tons of different guilds to choose from in this game. Like, I've barely scratched the surface. But for me, and my character, which is just a simple Nord warrior, Fighters Guild, that's all I need. It's a paycheck. Another guild I'd probably choose is one of the Knights. Like, Knights of the X. On the map there's a Knights of the Rose, I think, that's nearby. If I wanted to join another guild, I'd probably pick that one. Guilds offer lots of services, like training for various skills. Training, though, it's pretty expensive. The Mages Guild probably offers the most valuable services, quite frankly. I'm going to show you guys what it's like to run through the early portion of the game using a sort of spellcasting wizard character. It's kind of brutal, which you'll definitely see. The early game is going to be brutal pretty much no matter what you do. Custom class here. Stupid idiot spellcaster. Primary skills. So you need to level up primary skills, major skills, or minor skills in order to level up. Magic items are going to be way more useful than regular spells in this game, because they don't cost spell points to cast, and you can spam them. Yeah, you know, just be a little wise when you're picking your skills, but overall, like, the experience is going to be pretty much the same, regardless of what skills you pick. So just use basic common sense when you're picking your skills. It doesn't need to be that complicated. So I pick some skills that sound good to me, based on my goal of being a stupid idiot spellcaster. Now you have to subtract points from certain attributes that you don't want, and put them into attributes that you do want. It's pretty self-explanatory. It looks complicated. It's not that complicated. I'm a spellcaster, so obviously I want intelligence, because that affects how much freaking spell points I have. Can't do it more than 75 in character creation, so I put the rest into willpower. And that's good enough for me. Boggleby is this character's name. I like that guy, so great. Okay, now, basically just roll until you get a good roll in, for example, intelligence, which is the main attribute I'm wanting. So I crank that up to 96, the max is 100. So it affects spell points here, agility affects your chance to hit, and endurance affects hit points and healing rate. You can see it lists that. Okay, now, you'd think I'd put my points into destruction, but honestly, I'm only going to be able to cast like one spell at a time right now, so Short Blade is a better choice. And the rest, 5 points, it doesn't affect much. Honestly, put it into whatever you want. Just use common sense, like critical strike, 16%, you know. That's a good one to pick. Thaumaturgy, mysticism, I'm a spellcaster, sure. But overall, who cares? It's fine. You're going to be fine. It's going to be hard either way, but you're going to be fine if you just stick with it. So, we're here in the tutorial. I don't need the tutorial. Definitely save the game at the start, otherwise you're going to lose your character if you die, which you will. And I start off with 3 spells. Shock is the only one that's useful in this dungeon, but as you're going to see, I'm not going to be able to hit anything with a shock spell. And I start with an iron longsword, which kind of sucks because I specialize in short blades. So obviously, as you're going to see, this first dungeon, Privateer's Hold, this tutorial area, goes very poorly for me. That right there is probably the only time my shock spell is actually going to work on any living creature. But even though this goes very badly for me, and I suck at everything I try to do, because I can't use longswords, and I can only cast one shock spell, which does not have a good hit rate. Even in that scenario where everything sucks and it's hard, like, it's fine. So this bat, can't kill it. You just gotta roll the dice over and over. Obviously, this is not going well. Run away and rest as often as you can. That's just what you gotta do. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that your skills increase by 1% each time. So even if you do the amount of work that would level it up twice, unless you rest and level it up, that's wasted effort. So you do want to rest often, so you can level up your skills 1% at a time. Otherwise, you're going to waste effort spent performing actions, which could have rewarded you with a level up in that skill. This is obviously a really bad situation, so I run away. I don't even know why I opened that door. At this point, I'm just running out of the dungeon. Like, it's over for me. I just gotta get outside. That guy killed me, just reload. The exit is coming up pretty close here, just gotta get onto this throne. Activate that lever. I just barely made it. So even though, like, the tutorial can obviously be less difficult if you start with a weapon that you're actually good at using. But even in this scenario, where I suck at everything, I still managed to get out, and it's totally fine. And here I am in the beautiful world. The world of Daggerfall, guys. So my endurance is pretty low. So I have to wait like 12 hours for my HP to come back. Here's a random thief. I'm going to try and kill him with my spell. Does not work. Yep. This is what low-level combat is like in Daggerfall. And it's okay, because you saw earlier what combat becomes in the mid-game. When you level up a little bit, it does not take that long to get good enough to be able to hit things consistently. But it does take a while. So, you know, just keep at it. Just keep reloading until you get lucky. That's just what you gotta do. And there we go. That's all it takes. It's just a little bit of luck. Gonna equip this armor. One thing to keep in mind is there are no armor skills in Daggerfall, like heavy or light armor. So as far as I know, you just want to equip the armor that has the best stats, no matter what. So here I am. I decided to go to Gothway Garden because I know there's a Mage's Guild there, and it's just a good starting location. Gonna join the Mages Guild and get maybe a first quest from them. Except they only open at 11. Gotta wait a few hours. It's pretty easy to join a guild. You just go up to a guy, join guild. There you go. Yep. And he will give you quests, and you have access to a few services. Although some of those services you'll need to rank up a little bit by increasing your skills to use. So now that I've joined the Mages Guild, I'm obviously still very weak and poor. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to a whatever store I can find, sell off some equipment, and buy myself a short blade so that hopefully I can actually hit something. So there are no short blades in that one. What about this one? Steel Tanto. Sounds good to me. It's pretty cheap, only 44. You gotta talk to the guy if you want to sell anything. I'll get about a third of that money that it's worth. 122 gold, yeah. Well, now I've got a weapon. Now I'm just going to go to the Mages Guild and ask for a basic quest. Oh my gosh, did you see that? Did you see that? Hold on, rewind that. Rewind that. Did you see that 360 I just did? Holy crap, that was awesome. Alright, save before you accept a quest. That's just a good rule of thumb. Cast the sleep spell seemed the most appealing to me, because I assumed he would give me the spell I needed. But as you'll quickly see, that is not the case. He does not give me the spell that I need to cast. And in fact, I don't have nearly enough spell points to cast that spell. So now I'm looking for somebody who can sell me that spell. As you can see, just a whole host of kooky characters residing in this Mages Guild. One of them is going to sell me spells, so I'm just looking for that guy. I think, oh, maybe I'll make the spell? No. No. Honestly, I've not even touched spell making. It's probably not that complicated. But quite frankly, I don't need to look at that right now. I need a specific spell, Sleep, which I do not have. That guy will not even let me buy magic items from him yet. Buy spells. Now I'm looking for the sleep spell, which I need to cast for this particular quest. But as you can see, on the left-hand side is how much it costs to cast. I do not have nearly enough spell points. I think right now I started with like 48. And sleep costs 145, so that's a no-go right now. Once again, magic items are way better than regular spells. But yeah, I just reload the save. I can't even do that quest right now. Get an ingredient from a dungeon. Okay, I'll do that. 13 days. I think that's enough days, but as you'll see, it doesn't actually work out. I end up failing the quest. And so I'm just showing you right now, it's okay. Like, early on, you're gonna fail some quests, but it's okay. Like, I walk away from it, and as you can see, I went to the wrong place. Old Gwynen's place. That is not actually the correct location, so you'll see me running around looking for the entrance to this dungeon, which actually is not here. That is something you'll run into where locations have very similar names. So, you know, just pay attention. The quest log. I imagine it's because of the mod I have installed called Convenient Quest Log. but it will actually, if I click on the quest, take me to the location I need to be, which I end up using a little bit later, which is very convenient. As the name of the mod would imply, 6 days travel is actually pretty brutal, considering I only had like 13 days to complete this quest. Ruins of Old Gwenira's place, not Old Gwynen's place. You can see how I got those two mixed up. Looking for the entrance of this dungeon. Healing up before I get in there. Saving the game, and here we go. As you're going to see, this does not go well. Ladies and gentlemen, early level combat in Daggerfall. But just you wait. Once this character levels up a bit, it's going to be way easier. You just sort of have to suffer through the early game. And as you'll see, once again, I don't think I successfully cast my shock spell once. So quite frankly, if I were you, I would just roll a warrior character. That's probably just the better option. Unless you really want to suffer the early game. For the sake of being able to be like a wizardly caster later on, but... This guy has elven stuff, which is really good, especially for early game, so I'm stoked about that. I'm wearing an elven cuirass and a good helmet. Definitely keep an eye out for higher level gear like that. And as you level up, enemies will start to drop more gold and drop better items. So that's great. Something to look forward to. So you can clearly tell, swinging my sword around is what I do much more often than casting a spell. I think that's just how the game is. So I'm sorry to those who want to be Harry Potter-esque characters, but yeah, I would just do a warrior. Specializing in axe or longsword. You know, there are also lots of blunt weapons laying around, so axe, longsword, blunt weapons, short blade, I wouldn't pick that if I were you. Honestly, just go for the longsword, quite frankly. Get yourself a nice daikatana or claymore, and you'll be killing things so quick, it just turns into fantasy doom, quite frankly. Something to keep in mind is that you'll need silver weapons to harm werewolves, and mithril or above to harm several other enemy types. So just always bear that in mind. Don't accept a quest where you have to go kill a werewolf if you don't have a silver sword. Don't accept a quest to go kill a Daedroth if you don't have a mithril sword or above. Otherwise, you're going to get a message that says, this weapon's material is insufficient, or whatever. Look at that pair of silver boots. That's nice. And this is just what the game is like. You're either running around town, asking people where to go, or exploring a giant, labyrinthine dungeon looking for an item or an enemy. And that's basically it. Like... oh, look at me. This is a bad spot to be in, obviously. I'm gonna try like 10 times to kill this guy with my shock spell. Spoiler alert, it's not gonna work. Honestly, the best option right now would just be to run away. Just sprint away. Either out of the dungeon or to a safe corner where I can heal up. But right now, like, this is not working out well for me. But look at that! I got really lucky. And this knight character comes along and starts fighting the imp. Who will win? We'll find out in a minute here. But until then, I'm gonna run away and just heal up for like 12 hours. And those who are keeping track of how much time I've spent resting and traveling, the deadline for the quest I accepted is it's not, it's bad. Look at that, harpy. I can't kill a harpy unless I have probably a silver weapon. It might even be like a mithril weapon. So like I'm not anywhere close to being able to deal with that harpy, so just run away. Here they are, still fighting. Who's gonna win? Place your bets now, ladies and gentlemen. That actually surprises me, that the imp won. This thing is freaking overpowered. I hate them. I hate them so much. Mid-combat, checking this guy's equipment. Helmets apparently are pretty heavy. Here you go. Got myself a better helmet. Your carry weight is just something to constantly bear in mind. That's why a wagon is so useful. This imp kills me. That's why you quick save all the time. And finally, I am the victor. Through sheer luck and force of will. That's how you overcome most obstacles in the early game. You just keep trying. Look at that, I just leveled up. So I'm a spellcaster. For a second I consider putting into agility to maybe have a better chance of hitting things, but no, I decide, okay, more hit points per level with endurance and more intelligence for more spell points. Now these maps can get pretty complicated. I'm extremely grateful for this robust sort of map system which shows you a 3D model of exactly what the dungeon's layout is, where you've been. So right now I'm looking for passages that I have not yet set foot in. See, down that corridor, I've not been there yet, so I go down there. Just looking for that ingredient, which I, spoiler alert, will not find. I found a magic item, though. Definitely could be something very useful. Gonna have to take that to identify it later. Once again, at the Mages Guild. You're going to get lost in these dungeons. You absolutely will get lost in them. You will run around for like an hour looking for what you need to find. You know what? Just have fun doing it. This is computer gaming back in the 90s. Just check your map constantly to make sure you're heading in a new direction. Enemies do sort of respawn as you go along, especially as you rest throughout the dungeon. So beware of that. There's a harpy in here, which once again, with my weapon, I cannot harm. If, hypothetically, I got this spell off, I could harm them, because spells do work against these higher level enemies. But as you'll see, it does not happen. I cannot get this shock spell to hit anything. And these are the joys of early game Daggerfall. Just bear that in mind. It's okay. It's okay that you suck at the game. Because it's not even you. It's your character that sucks. You just have to get better by doing over and over and over. And before you know it, you're going to be going through these dungeons like it's nothing. And it's going to be fun. Once again, fantasy doom. Okay. And you'll see here, reloading the game over and over again, pressing F1 to enter thieving mode, and then clicking on the door. It does not unlock. Eventually, it would unlock, even though my lockpicking skill is like 5% probably. So I have like a 5% chance to open this door. Eventually, if I save scum enough, it would work. If you don't like save scumming, this game, quite frankly, might not be for you. Because that's just the process. You can also, as I will demonstrate, bash the door down. So, keep that in mind. All for 34 gold. Okay. So the item I need from this dungeon could frankly be anywhere. You just gotta look. You could see I physically sighed there. I physically let out a sigh. Because I don't know where to go. And I'm absolutely running out of time to find this ingredient for the quest. Once you find it, though, it will be highlighted green. And you might even get, like, a special message that pops up saying, you now have the thing that you need for this quest. Good job. You see right there, that's an area I have not been in, so I'm going to try and head down there. Just constantly checking the map to make sure you're going in the right direction. Because once again, the layouts of these dungeons, they're randomly generated, and quite frankly, they're insane. That's okay, it's part of the fun. Navigating a maze is just part of the fun. Failed to cast the shock spell once again. My lovely iron Tanto, or whatever, my steel Tanto, it comes to the rescue. And as you can see, I'm completely out of inventory space. There's not much I can do about it right now. And look at that! I ran out of time. The quest is now failed. It's straight up failed. But that's okay. Once again, I'm level 2. I just started the game. It's fine that I failed this quest. There's no, like, repercussions. And even though I didn't get that 200 gold from completing the quest, I got a ton of gold from enemies, and a ton of gear to sell back in town. So, even though I failed the quest because I took too long, I leveled up some skills, I got a bunch of gear, and I got a bunch of gold. And so that is a success. Now I'm just heading back to the entrance, which is marked by that green pillar on the map. There it is. Back in the wide, wonderful world of Daggerfall. And now it's time to accept my defeat and just go back to Gothway Garden where I got the quest. Remember where you get quests? Remember from which NPC you get quests? Definitely write that down. There's a note-taking system in the game. I think you just press N or something to take a note. Or, you know, note it in the text of your save file. Just make sure to remember from whom and from where you got a quest, because the game doesn't really tell you or mark that in an adequate way, quite frankly. So make sure you remember. But yeah, guys, other than that, I think we're done here. I think I've showed you what the game is like. Just going here, selling off my gear. Look at that. So much gold. Books are worth a lot. Yeah. As you can see, I have a bunch of armor still in my inventory that I cannot sell in this town, because there's no smithy in this town, which sucks. Anyways, guys, I hope I taught you something. I hope I showed you what it's like to play Daggerfall. This is just raw gameplay. This is just what you'll be experiencing as you play the game. It's a lot of fun, actually. Is it sometimes tedious and, like, annoying and confusing? Yeah. But it's a lot of fun. I think you should play Daggerfall. If you've played Morrowind, if you like Morrowind, if you like old games, old RPGs, this one can seem daunting from a distance and hard to figure out. I hope I showed you it's not that complicated. It's mostly a loop of going to a dungeon and messing around in a town. That's basically all you do in this game. And you level up, you get better stuff, you experience the sort of bare bones story. It's not a bad story, but it is bare bones. But yeah. If you enjoy the video, if you learned something, I'm happy. So, I got nothing more to say. Goodbye.